Hey everyone, it's me, FancyAlly, and I'm here with my good Judy, Miss
Judy Puss.
Miss Judy Puss. It's
Hello,
the grand
uglies.
finale of Dragula Titans. Obviously, it's the week before Christmas, so that's why you see us very Christmasified.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, we got a snowman in the back. Hashtag shout out to Mina doing the cover of Snowman by Sia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Twice, the girls.
Twice.
It's our last episode for the year or whatever. But yeah, Twice is going to come back in January. Their English single, we don't know the name yet, but in January they're going to have a new English single, their newest mini album in March 2023. So the girls are getting prepared as we speak. They're probably filming a video, doing everything. So we can't wait to see Twice in 2023. It was a very anticlimactic finale, so we got to bring all the energy.
Yes.
Put in some extra stuff. Like I said, shout out to Twice. What else? Shout out to Hollow Taco. I got a red hollow nail polish, and then Miss Judy Puss, we got a red. Oh, look at the colors there. No, but yeah, but because we had made an order of Hollow Taco, and they said, oh, whoever does an order, we're gonna give you a mystery nail polish. So they gave her a red nail polish, just a basic matte called Left on Red. And then we had already ordered a unicorn skin, which is just some hollow that you put on top. So show the nails again, your nails. Look at that. When you put the shine, you could really see that hollow.
Shout out to Hollow Taco.
Shout out to Hollow Taco. Y'all really came through with us this year. Shout out to Dollar Tree for this hat. Shout out to everyone who told me this wig color looks good on me.
It does look good on you.
And this wig looks good on you. I knew what I was doing with the finale. But yeah, so like I said, it's a very anticlimactic finale. Probably going to be a short review, so that's why we're just going off about stuff. Yeah, let's just give a little quick shout out to the rest of our squad. We got Miss Gigi.
Hi everyone, this finale was anticlimactic.
And then we got Miss Becky in the house.
Hi everyone, I have a lot to say. I'm gonna say it.
You have Yogo.
Hey everyone. Merry Christmas. I have my antlers on.
Yeah, I was ready for Christmas before anyone else. You were, Yogo, you were. Where's Jojo?
How come everyone isn't liking and subscribing to the video? It's so simple to just hit the like button and the subscribe. It's easy effort for you. It means a lot to me.
Yes, Jojo. It means a lot to us. So yeah, shout out to everyone that did like, and guess what? It doesn't matter when we post this video, when you watch it. You can watch this next year, 2 years from now. Whenever you watch it, please give it a like. Come on, like.
Yes.
Our last video, the views are coming in, but the likes for some reason are not coming out. So like, come on, don't be mean. Like, don't be selfish. Like, be thoughtful. Like, yeah, if you watched it, if you spend time clicking on it, might as well like it. You know what I mean? And guess what? Even if you didn't like it and then leave a bad comment. Like, seriously, you know what I mean? Like, but the least you could do is like, don't be selfish. Like, it's the holidays. You guys are mean.
You give a like.
But yeah. And shout out to our makeup. It was Jeffree Star. We got the Jeffree Star lip. Our eyes. This is probably our most
Complex.
dynamic makeup yet. We got some Jeffree Star eyeliner in green. And then we got some red and white and shiny, all from the Weirdo palette, Jeffree Star. Shout out to Jeffree Star. We heard he's quitting YouTube this year, but hopefully he won't quit he won't quit makeup, because that's like his best thing. And hopefully, you know what, let him come back with the music, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? I can never get enough Jeffree Star, honestly.
Yes, we have a yak burger on us.
Yes, maybe one day we'll get a yak burger, so Jeffree Star yak meat. But yeah, so let's get on to this review. Like I said, it's going to be quick, and it's going to be anticlimactic, and yes.
Surprise, episode 9 being the grand finale.
Yeah, there was no, you know what, let's just have a little section about our expectations for the finale. So we were hoping, first of all, they didn't show Eva's picture last week.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my God, please, let's say there's a chance that Eva may come back. She did not come back at all. What else? The whole season they were like, oh, if someone doesn't do the fright feed, someone can come back. That never happened the whole season. So there was one twist that was like useless. What else? There was no reunion this episode at all. Like I was thinking like, oh, maybe they're gonna bring back the girls to vote for the winner or something. No, that did not happen at all.
This season, they should have had a reunion.
Yeah, and they did like a little thing. We'll get into it. So, but what else? There was no voting. There was no reunion. There was no Untucked. There was no Cauldron this episode, which I was like, wow, we don't even get that. What else?
Just a one floor show. It was.
Yeah, and they even mentioned some, like when they were doing the beginning, they were like, oh, the twists aren't over yet. And I was like, bitch, where was the last twist? There was no other twist.
Even the beginning of the episode, they're like, oh, big twist. Is the big twist that there's not going to be much? The
twist. And I think even Coco at one point said, the biggest twist for me was when there was no twist. And I was like, yes, girl.
Coco. Same with us.
Yeah, so I guess let's get to it. Let's start whenever. It started off with a skit, the Late Brothers skit. Yeah,
that was fun.
And I noticed, I don't know if you remember, but they started the season off with that skit where they were in that room and they're like, oh, this is different than regular Dragula, it's Titans, blah, blah, blah. And so they started it with the skit and they ended it with the skit, which, Dragula is definitely, they always have like a skit basically in the beginning of the episode, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, it's the grand finale, let's see how this ends, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, they look nice in the skit. I kind of missed their skits a little bit because I think that really makes it feel like Dragula, and so then when there weren't no skits, it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they usually have those skits in the beginning.
Yeah, not in Titans.
Not in Titans.
Yeah. and the person who wins is gonna headline the world tour. Which again, I think all the girls are gonna be on tour, so I don't even know why they said like, oh, you're not gonna be on tour, but no, that was just a lie.
That last episode won't go on the tour. So they go to the room with the top three: Victoria, Coco, and Hoso. Hoso showing off her skinny ass body.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that? And then it turned to a little love fest. How they're the top three. They beat everyone else out, this and that. They were also surprised that Eva left too.
Yes, Coco was saying like, oh, I'm so surprised Eva left. Or I think Victoria was saying, and then she was like, I'm not really surprised Astrid didn't make it. Like, that was kind of obvious.
Yeah, we knew that.
And stuff. And even Hosa was like, oh, maybe if she believed in herself, I could believe in her more, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and also mentioned that when there was the double save, when nobody was eliminated, that she was probably going to be the one not eliminated that episode. So
yeah,
she figured that out.
No, but she basically was like, oh, maybe the consequence was that one of us was not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's funny that she said it because like that was another thing that like, what was the consequence? We never know. Yeah. So I guess she was like, I guess that was the consequence because they never really told us exactly what the consequence was, right?
Yeah. The consequence was one of them was going to leave. It wasn't Hoso.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Coco was like, saying how she was like taking big risks the whole competition. And I think that's why she made it to the finale because she said that Eva had 2 wins and Coco only had 1. But to be honest, they should have just made the top 4 because I think Eva should have been there. And like, let's to be clear, Eva is definitely 4th place, not Astrid. They even kind of showed that later with the pictures you'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hosa was like, oh, this was a competition full of bad bitches and stuff. I did see that Hosa had this one tattoo that was like purple and blue, and like I wouldn't get that exact same tattoo, but I love purple and blue. As you can see by the poster in the back. Yeah. So I would definitely get a tattoo of that, maybe like what's it called? Like the Aries symbol, but like red and blue, like galaxy, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Right, Miss Judy Puss?
That would be sweet. You start with a temporary one.
Maybe, we'll see. We shall see. 2023, 2023, twice 3. On to the main stage. Honestly, even though we just said all that, it was a really quick
yeah, it was a very short
intro,
beginning, right?
Yeah.
Not much drama.
Yeah, this episode was like 56 minutes long, which is shorter than most of their episodes, so it made sense that it was like very short and quick.
Yeah, no drama.
They went to the main stage, the Belay Brothers were like, hey bitches, welcome back. Hello uglies,
Hello,
right?
uglies.
Yes, so then what's it called? We were a little confused because they said the main challenge this week was...
Yeah, 2 parts.
2 parts basically. The first part was a podcast, Creatures of the Night, which I do watch or listen to or whatever. But so we were kind of like, so is that part of the Fry Feed or there was no Fry Feed this episode?
It was weird.
Yeah, so.
But then they mentioned, if you make it through the interview process, then you can go on to the final challenge. So maybe that was considered.
Right, but then, and then I thought like, oh, maybe they're each going to have like a little section where they just, you know what I mean? Like an interview.
Like RuPaul does.
But no, it was just like all 3 of them at the same time. And I was just like, okay. It was just, there's nothing scary about being on a podcast.
Yeah, a podcast. So basically advertising their podcast, Creatures of the Night.
Yeah, it was just one big advertisement. It really did feel like an episode of the podcast and not like, you know what I mean? An episode of Dragula. So yeah, that was part 1 was the podcast. And then part 2 was...
Floor show.
The floor show, yeah.
Yeah. In this floor show, they had to combine all 4 elements of Dragula.
Drag, horror, filth, and glamour. Usually in the Dragula finales, you have to give like 1 look for each, basically, for like horror, filth, and glamour. But then this one, they're like, no, it's Titans, we're not going to do that. We just have one big floor show, and you could have background dancers and props and this and that. But you just basically have just 1 look, and you have to basically do everything at once.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we'll get to it and stuff. But,
you had to lip sync to the Belay Brothers song. Ascension, yeah. Which, to be honest, like, we've heard worse. I think the song wasn't that bad, to be honest. I think the song was nice.
But I just feel like, wow, it's like, all right, so you're advertising the podcast, you're advertising your song, and then at the end, when, we were like, what, it's over? And then they're like, oh, here's our tour. You know what I mean? So, we see what you're doing, Belay Brothers.
I gotta get that $100,000 song.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Belay Brothers were mentioning that they're gonna, when they pick their winner, they're gonna take into consideration the original series as well.
Yeah, which I was like, what does that have to do with anything? I was like, no, it's like Titans, like, you know what I mean? Like, it should just be based off of what they're doing now, not what they did in the past. You know what I mean? But I guess because it was the first All-Star winner, they're like, we have to do that.
Yeah, it's everything combined.
Yeah. Basically, onto the podcast, and I was telling Miss Judy Puss, I was like, oh, I wonder if like because usually they do the podcast with a 3rd person named Ian what?
Ian the
Vulgar or something like that.
Yes, he's the co-host.
Yes, and producer.
He's also the producer.
Yes, of Dragula. He's been basically behind the scenes the whole time, but they're finally showing him in the front or whatever.
Yeah,
he's kind of cute. Yeah, he has glasses and tattoos.
He's cute. He's Asian.
He's not Asian. I thought he was Spanish. He might be Asian and Spanish.
He's mixed.
Yeah, he's probably mixed. Yeah, something different.
Something different. Ian was sitting there and he was talking about the fright feats being torture for fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought some of them were kind of corny this season.
Yeah, I think they did like the best ones in the beginning. Yes. Like, where they had to bob for apples with the pig heads and what else did they have to do that was gross? They had to eat all the spicy foods. Spicy that sounded really painful. Yeah. But then some of the other fight feats, like the lie detector test.
Yeah, that was just for drama. The drowning by the water when they're in the tube thing. That was kind of like, I
wish that they did a fight feat this episode just for the fun of it. You know what I mean?
The fight feat when they were in the room spinning. Remember?
I like that. That was kind of fun. Even though I feel like they were acting, like nobody was really like, you know what I mean?
They made the throw up sound, but nobody threw up.
Right? But yeah. I think Kosa was like, oh, we were all Erica this season because we all had to participate in all the fight feats, unlike, the regular one they have the
extermination.
Alvin, how can you forget what they're called? Well, it's not exterminations, it's don't know. I don't remember either, Miss Judy Puss.
I remember either. What was it called before the elimination? Was the... I guess we'll have to look on that.
Oh well. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Miss Becky.
I don't know what it is either.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, well.
All done.
All done. Podcast. Yeah, they basically went to each one of them, Coco, Victoria, and Hoso. Victoria made a good point about how they weren't really real. They had to like kind of be fake because the social media, no matter what they do, they're going to get dumped on social media.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true, you know?
It's with any reality show, basically. Or basically, honestly, with just anything in general. Like, if you're on social media, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's why Miss Judy Puss doesn't have social media. A lot of you guys have asked me, and no, Miss Judy Puss
No,
doesn't.
I don't do that.
The most that Miss Judy Puss will do is be on these videos with me. So thank you,
Yes.
Miss Judy Puss, for doing
Thank you
this.
for having me.
Hopefully, Miss Judy Puss will continue, right?
Yeah, we'll do interviews on other shows. I don't know what's next.
Reviews, not interviews.
Reviews.
But yeah, so who knows? Hopefully they'll bring back Legendary in some type of
Oh, yeah,
form.
Legendary.
Maybe Dragula. I don't know about Drag Race because we're really behind on Drag Race. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll fiigure it out. Maybe Camp on a Cake.
Can't find a Kiki this
Yes.
summer.
Yeah,
But these 2 seasons.
Something
but
different.
Something different.
Yeah. It's not on Netflix. It's on YouTube.
This 2 seasons. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. So Coco was surprised. Oh, I was surprised that when there wasn't any surprises because you guys promised
Yes,
us
that was the
so many
best one
surprises
ever.
this season. And I was like, girl, I believe you. I agree with you, girl. But yes, Coco mentioned her mom. Oh my god, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
I don't give a
yeah.
fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's off. It's off. But yes, Coco mentioned. Hoso mentioned her mom is like a feminist educator. What's it called? A professor. Right?
Yeah, also talked a lot about South Korea and traveling back and forth in South Korea.
Yeah, 'cause they
So
asked
she
her,
wanted to live
yeah.
in the United States, and she said, "No, not really, because I'm making such an impact to South Korea." And,
Yeah, because it's true. Because like Hoso's already making an impact here, but like in her where she lives, it's like the drag culture is probably not much. You know what I mean? Especially Dragula type drag. So I completely understand. And she also said, South Korea is her home. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's
she's
like
a hero to a lot of people over there.
exactly. And honestly, I don't blame her for not wanting to live in America because America is shit. You know what I mean? If she asked her this question like a couple years ago, like 10 or 20 years ago, then yeah, America was the place to be. Not anymore.
Yeah, South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea is way better. Shout out to Twice.
Yeah.
Savage. What's wrong with you? Stop it! I've never yelled at a girl like this. When my mom yelled at me, it's because she loves me. I was rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. How dare you?
You're rooting for me. I'm sorry.
Learn something from this, Miss Judy Puss. Joe, just slap him.
Oh, bitch.
But yes. Sometimes we all need a little slap in our life to get it together, right?
Listen.
I did what needed to be done. Get it together, Miss Judy Puss.
I'm taking the place of Miss Judy Puss for the rest of the episode.
Not tonight, Miss Becky. Not tonight. Becky, I don't know what I'm doing. But yes, oh my god, they're so crazy. They had to bring the entertainment that the episode didn't bring.
I know, we gotta get
But
the
yes,
somehow.
so that's. They mentioned Victoria had a bunch of drag daughters, and the only one I know is Dahlia Black, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
I think on season 3 or I don't even know.
Oh, that's
So-
why she has drag granddaughters.
Yeah, because she was like, I only have technically 3 daughters, but then they have daughters, and people say they're my daughters, but they're my grand drag daughters, and blah blah blah.
And then the big Belay brother said, I warned you about not having drag daughters.
blah. Right?
They just take.
Well, guess what? I could have had a drag mother, but she was a bitch, and she ain't my mama. She was saying like, oh, you shouldn't name your name Fancy or blah blah blah, this or that. I'm like, bitch, no, you know what I mean? You're not my mama. Maybe one day I will have a drag mama, but not you, not tonight. Oh, but also, it's like sometimes drag parents like they'll try to take the credit for your success and stuff. They'll be like, oh, I made them who they are, and blah blah blah. I've seen it before with the drag girls, the drag race girls.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got no drag parent, whatever success you came, you did it by yourself. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody helped me with drag. Ain't nobody got me these wigs or whatever, my makeup. I learned by my own on YouTube and experience. That's how we do it here.
That's right. Experience.
Period. And I'm sure y'all can agree we've come a long way since our first reviews on Legendary, right?
Yes. But they asked also about the love triangle that was going on in this season. Hosto's answer was quite interesting. Apparently, Hosto's been in a relationship with someone completely different for about 4.5 years.
Yeah, you didn't know.
No.
They did mention it a couple times.
I didn't know.
So that's why it was weird because it was like her and Astrid were kind of acting like they were a thing.
Yeah.
And then Apora is over there. So it's really like a square.
It's like a square, but
Yeah.
apparently Hosto believes in the open relationship then.
Yeah, and they kind of went on a whole thing about
Yeah,
that.
and
And,
about the
yeah.
culture and this and that. And, yeah.
What do you think about that, Ms. Davis?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
Oh.
No, I think you should commit to a relationship.
Well, to each their own, their opinion, right, Miss Judy Puss?
That's it.
Yeah.
But then again, Hosto is young.
Yeah, they said that you're young and blah, blah,
Let her
blah.
sleep around.
And she also has an OnlyFans, so there's that element. You don't remember? I showed you during her season. She had like some naked pictures. And I showed you Hoso.
Let's show the audience.
No, they could just look it up on Twitter. I showed you on Twitter.
We're
Remember,
gonna have
she
to
was
check that
like,
out after this review.
no, we already did it last year, and that was enough.
It must not have been very memorable then.
Oh, girl. I don't know. You've been through a lot since then, so I don't really remember.
Yeah.
Oh, they mentioned, they were like, Victoria, is there anyone you want to slap? And she's like, I want to slap Astrid and tell her she's a brat. And I was like, why didn't you do that when she was here? You know what I mean? Because Because honestly, Victoria, like I said, they mentioned later on, she's very seasoned and old and stuff, and a lot of people respect her. So if you were to like slap, or not necessarily slap, but like if you were to like shake Ashton and be like, bitch, you're acting like a brat right now, maybe she would have listened, and maybe she would have actually, somebody should have needed to like give her a wake up call. Hopefully she can watch the season and realize that she does need to change, you know what I mean? But if nobody says it to her, they're never going to learn, and they're just going to continue being a brat their whole life, you know what I mean?
My brother's asked about Universal Horror Nights.
Yeah, she's like, will you give us free passes? And she's like, I will pay it out of my pocket, I don't care, I'll get it whatever way I can.
I'm sure she gets a discount.
Yes, and I think Drac was like, 2 years ago when you were on your season, we ordered some mics from you at full price, and you didn't even give us a discount, or breastplate, at full price, you didn't even give us a discount after everything we've done for you. And then she's like, oh, was it because you didn't win? And bitch put in one instead of you, and she's like, no, how could you say that?
I'll give her a discount, 5%.
Well, yeah, but those are expensive. I wouldn't know, but I just know they're expensive. The Coco won a lot of pageants, male presenting and female presenting, which I could see elements of that, but I didn't know all of that. You know what I mean?
She looked really good in that interview session.
Yeah, she was.
The nice suit on, the hair,
right.
those eyes.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah.
And what did they say? Oh, they said, I've been told before, because I guess Coco's won some pageants. They were like, oh, the rain is what you do with it, or whatever. And then she's like, well, if that's the case, then I could just make it whatever I want, whenever I want, because I don't even need the title or this or that. It helps, she said. $100,000 would help, but like I could technically do whatever I want whenever I want, and it's true. You know what I mean? We don't need to get on Drag Race to be a good drag queen, or get booked all the time and have a bunch of followers or likes and comments. No. Guess what? We still have an opinion. That's why we make these videos. We don't care how many people watch it, how many people subscribe, or whatever. It would be nice to have a lot more and some recognition for all the effort and work we put in. But you know what? At the end of the day, we like doing this. You know what I mean? So we're going to continue to do it regardless of if we have a million subscribers or whatnot. But like I said, I believe in the law of attraction, all that shit, being optimistic, positive. So I honestly feel like if I just continue on this path, you know what I mean, then, eventually the likes and comments and subscribers will come, you know what I mean? Maybe I need to, what's it called? Take it up a notch next year, you know what I mean? Maybe I need to start doing drag in person or posting on Instagram, because that's the one platform I don't have for drag, you know what I mean? And continue posting on TikTok, and you know what I mean? The point is just to continue. There's some drag queens that were doing it for 20, 30 years, and it took them a while to get to the success that they deserved, you know what I mean? People say that's the best thing when, you finally get paid for something that you actually like doing.
It's not really a job then.
Yeah, when I was showing Miss Judy Puss the makeup today, I was like, oh my god, this probably was some of the best makeup I've done before. And she was like, what did you say, Miss Judy Puss?
I said it's very professional. Maybe you can get a new career doing makeup.
Exactly. I would love that. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? We've seen worse, and people probably pay them, and they've done worse.
I'm going to show you a movie after this.
Oh no, girl, we ain't got time to watch a movie. We're going to watch that Rugrats Hanukkah episode and the Rugrats Kwanzaa episode. Happy Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, everybody!
How is FancyAlly going to react to this one?
Oh, girl.
So yeah, anyway,
was it from Fox News?
No.
The irony of me wearing red right now and you wearing blue. Okay, let's keep going. Coco.
We talked about the hookup apps.
That was host. Oh no, she did mention something about hookup apps.
You had to learn about being queer. So.
Oh yeah, she mentioned like, I shouldn't be sleeping with some 59-year-old man in the streets.
At 2 a.m. That was not a good decision.
Yeah. Oh, who are you attracted this season? She's like, definitely Eva, and I don't blame you, girl, down hearing this. Yes, Miss Eva Distraction. And Miss Eva, I really wish she would have come back this episode. Excuse me.
That was disgusting.
I agree with you. I'm sorry. I said excuse me now. So, what about your notes? Or anything before we move on?
That was disgusting.
It was, Becky. I'm sorry. That was a bad example. But I did say excuse me. Always say excuse me, even if you do something gross. So yeah, basically that was the podcast. It was pretty, it was alright. They spilled a little bit of tea, but it wasn't like all that. And then, they go on to the montage of them getting ready and their thoughts and stuff. Coco Kane was going to be the Black Widow spider, right?
Yeah, Coco Kane was showing the parts that she's going to build to be a spider.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, she mentioned she had super glue and 2-gauge something.
Yeah, 2-gauge wire.
Wire, yeah. Because she wanted it to be very realistic and move, and I think it did, Yeah, she accomplished that. And then Hoso Teratoma.
Yeah, she was going to be a bug in some sort of cocoon or something.
Yeah, she was talking a lot about the cocoon, and then she was going to come out the cocoon.
Yeah, and also mentioned about the cancer that she suffered from.
Yeah, you forgot everything about. I mean, technically, her season does feel like a long time ago, because I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing, because Dragula, they do it every year, right? So last year was season 4, which Hoso was on. But then I was thinking with Drag Race, the American season is every year. But then, they have so many freaking spin-offs, All-Stars, international seasons. So it feels like, oh my god, there's been so much since the last season. Because literally, I was trying to think like, what happened last season on Drag Race? Season 14 of Drag Race, I blurred a lot of it out of my mind because I was very triggered by some of the contestants on that season. So I just try not to remember it. But I remember the good things I liked about it. But with Dragula, it's just Dragula once every year. So I guess I don't blame you completely for forgetting a lot of the stuff. But girl, I thought you would remember that, or at least OnlyFans.
No.
Hoso's a trans femme person.
Yeah, she is. She mentioned that. Which I was like, yes, Hoso, good for you. She, like you said, she was showing a lot of skin while she was getting ready. Like I said, she's trying to promote that OnlyFans. But yeah, she said she used liquid latex, and it was like an insect queen, and fabric, of course. And then onto Victoria. And she was very inspired by her childhood, and basically she was like, I don't even know.
Yeah, Victoria was using power tools to build a set.
Yeah, that was the highlight of Victoria. She was wearing a sleeveless shirt or whatever.
they got
And
them.
so when she was using the power tools, we could see like a full side view of her whole body. And I was like, we were both like, oh my god, Victoria, the trade of the season. Yeah. So the power tools, underpaints, other paints, amber paints. I don't know.
Oh, she's amber paint.
Yeah, but she said it weird.
Yeah, she said umber. Yeah, the Belay brothers.
The Belay brothers had a basic red and white and black look like they usually do. But the outfit was really nice. Like the dress, it was like very shapely.
Yeah, I like the outfit. It was
Yeah.
big points at the end and all that. But
Yeah, I think what it gets me is always the makeup. You know what I mean? It's just the red lip and the white hair and the black and the contacts, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's their staple
and so,
look.
as we're getting ahead of ourselves, but we're almost there. They mentioned like, oh, this is going to be the end of chapter 1 of the Belay brothers, of our legacy, or of Dragula, you know what I mean? This is the end of an era, basically. So I was like, well, I hope in the next era, they do something different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be a perfect opportunity to change it up, you know what I mean? Like maybe chapter 1 of Dragula is like the red, the black, and the white, and the next season change it up, make it blue, black, and green, or purple. Purple's a very Halloweenish color, you know what I mean? Like switch it up.
Something different.
Yeah, something different for reals, because honestly, it's like a little tiring, and like we get it, that's your iconic look. Like keep the contacts and stuff, but like change everything else up. The hair, you know what I mean? Because
Most drag queens have an iconic look, but are able to change.
exactly, like RuPaul always tries to change it up. The way sometimes not for the better, but I appreciate that she's trying. You know what I mean?
Even the girls in the competition have their iconic look.
Yeah, they don't look the same as they did in the
Change.
original season.
Yeah.
So it's like the Belay brothers, like, come on, like you guys have the budget, like use it. Don't just stick to red, black, and white. You know what I mean? Yeah, onto the floor shows. So we didn't like the fact that they kind of showed the floor shows all mixed up, right? Like,
No.
Like it was kind of a little confusing at first. I was like, great. So Victoria, she was in front of the TV as a little boy, and then she's watching. Yeah, she was watching herself. She had a witch hat and kind of dried basically as a child. And then we see like they take her heart out, and then we see the Victoria of now, which was like this black outfit, very witch and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky.
Yeah, and then she had a whole set, which was obviously that's one of her strong suits is building.
She
and
built
stuff.
the set with the power tools.
Yeah.
And then she had all kinds of body parts, almost like a Frankenstein thing. She was putting something together.
And I think it was supposed to be her from season 2, because I was like, that definitely looks like you, but like the whole
The
view, I
face
guess.
looked like her. Yeah, it was weird.
So then she brought it back to life. I think I don't even know.
Yeah, she electrocuted in, and then she came back out of it.
Yeah, like we said, they had to lip sync to the song Ascension by the Belay brothers, which, like I said, wasn't that bad. Which they said that they made the song specifically for this moment. So yeah, that was Victoria. Then host. Obviously when she came out the cocoon, she was one look, and then she kind of shed that whole look, and then she kind of had a little bit more simple look, but also like very polished, like expensive looking look. And like I said, she was still the bug, and she just looked. The whole part, she was dancing. She had choreography.
The choreography was great.
She was just. I think to me, her whole thing, I liked it personally better than Victoria's, because Victoria, the set was nice and all that, but her actual look, I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Especially, for finale,
That's just basic.
We've seen way better from her, so much better. You know what I mean? It was like she spent all her effort on the sets and everything, and not like her look. You know what I mean? But Hoso, I think her look was really, really good, and she still gave a really great performance. You know
It
what
was
I mean?
classic Hoso, bug insect thing. I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah.
And then when she busted out of that thing, she had the guys help pull it out off and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was nice.
And then we had Miss Coco Kane, which I loved as well.
Yeah.
She, like I said, she was a Black Widow spider, and we see her biting the head off of some guy.
That's how it started, just her sucking the blood out of some guy's neck.
I know, and it was really good. And then, like I said, as she would move, the whole spider thing, the body would move.
The legs move.
Yeah, and I think the Belay brothers at one point mentioned like she was doing like the duck walk, right?
She did the duck walk. Wow.
And then what's it called? As she did that, like all her legs were kind of moving, and it made it so real. And I think this look, in my opinion, this look was the best look, because I could see the glamour, I could see the horror. I guess the filth when she was biting that guy's neck off or whatever. Yeah. And then so I think her look was like the best look out of them all.
I thought she was gonna win because of that look. Yes.
Yeah, I to be honest, in my opinion, I think Hoso or Coco should have won. Spoiler alert: Victoria won, unfortunately. Yeah. And I think this is where they take into consideration the whole season and also what happened before, which I don't think is fair. But yeah, because like if it was just based off of this challenge, I don't think Victoria would have won, because they said they loved her, like I said, the whole set and everything. Yeah. But that look was, I think, for us, it was a very disappointing finale look.
I agree.
Catfish. It's Judy. So when the Belay brothers, and also there was no special guest this episode either. So no special guests, no bringing back the girls, no voting. You know what I mean? Drag was saying to Swan, she was like, "Oh, remember when we had like that really cheap wig and there was a roach that came out of it? Look where we are now."
Yeah, it was called on her face. Yeah, they thought it was a triumphant finale.
Yeah, that all 3 of them did good, and they did. I'm not saying they all did bad, but the look.
Victoria, they said it was a 10 out of 10 in all the categories.
She said the craftsmanship, which I agree.
Yeah, the craftsmanship, I agree. She built that in 48 hours.
They said the creativity, I guess, with the set or whatever. But,
and the childhood day.
But the look, girl, I don't even think they mentioned her look. They just mentioned everything else but the look. And it's like, girl, no, that look.
That should have been everything.
That look, yeah, that look that was supposed to incorporate all 4 of them. I think it incorporated maybe 2, 1.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Glamour.
So then Hoso, they liked her. They said her lip sync was the best.
Lip sync was the best, which I agree. The lips were moving real good.
Yeah, and she had the choreography. She was dancing. It was a whole performance. You mentioned her reveal was massive with the cocoon and all that, which I think that was very creative. Yeah.
To me, that was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was a 10 out of 10. Yeah, for sure. And then Coco, I don't know if they said it, but in my opinion, I think they said that her look was the best. The look wise, you know what I mean?
They did mention that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It was like a deadly look. She's the Black Widow of Dragula. We mentioned the duck
The
walk.
duck walk, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Duck walk.
Right, we remember that from Legendary.
Yes, the duck walk.
They're like, oh, Victoria's the most seasoned queen, and yes, that is saying she's old.
Yeah, they mentioned that she's the most seasoned, which is really old.
Yeah. She has been around the longest out of the three of them.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you thought Hossa was gonna win.
I thought Hossa was gonna win.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why.
I thought that because the fact that she was on last season, she went on the tour with them. You mentioned last video that maybe she's being a little favored.
Yeah, and I do think she definitely was favored this
you
whole
know.
season. I don't think it was gonna be enough to win the whole thing. You know what I mean? But if she had won, I would have been upset because the whole floor show was good.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, but in my head, I wanted it to be Hossa and Coco, but I just had a feeling that Victoria, you know, she's been on season 2, she was on Resurrection, and now she's here. You know what I mean? And like, she does have polished looks. They want those universal passes.
Yes.
They want the discount on the bus plate. So, in my opinion, to be honest, my full opinion, I really wanted Coco King to win. I think she really she really represents what Dragula is and should be, and blah blah blah.
Yes.
And she's come a long way. She's grown so much. But I kind of knew Victoria was up there too.
Coco's got the biggest tits on earth.
Yeah, exactly. She was just amazing.
Big tits.
Yeah, but like I said, Hossa is also very young, and they mentioned that. And I do think she has a lot more to grow and learn. And I mean, like I said, she's already amazing so much at the age that she is. But I do think one day Hossa's going to be even better,
Yes.
bigger,
She's gonna be
even more
so good.
creative. I don't know if they're going to have another All. I mean, they're definitely going to have another All Stars, but I don't know if they're going to have former All Stars and a new All Stars.
Oh,
Who knows?
yeah.
But I know it's not over for Hossa. It's not over for Eva. It's not over for Coco King. They're just getting started. I think maybe Victoria, like I said, she's been around the longest, so that's what they kind of gave it to her because it's kind of been a long time coming. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the first All Stars of Drag Race. Remember Chad Michaels won,
Yes.
and on season 4 it was basically either Sharon Needles or Chad Michaels. And to be honest, either of them could have won. But I think for the culture, Sharon Needles won because she was spooky, and honestly, she was the first Dragula girl before there was Dragula.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were like, what are you going to say, Vicky?
Chad Michaels, we like Chad Michaels.
We do. A lot of people like Chad Michaels, and a lot of people were upset when Chad Michaels didn't win, which is why they brought her on All Stars 1, and then she won. And so I feel like this is kind of the same thing. I think a lot of people thought season 2, Victoria Black should have won instead of Bitch Pudding. So it's almost like as if they made this whole All Stars just for Victoria to get a
Victoria the
crown.
win.
So right before they announced the winners, this was the only reference to the other queens the whole episode.
Oh, yes.
Which is basically we get to see like a graveyard or whatever, and we get to see all their pictures,
Yeah,
and they also
pictures.
mention a quote or whatever. So because this finale is very anticlimactic and whatever, we have our girls here, and they're going to say a little thing about each of the contestants. So first up is Yovska.
Yes, Yaska was the first voted out.
Hi everyone, it's me, Bellatrix Lestrange. I like Yovska because her looks come from Nightmares with the creative, and I loved her pumpkin look. Remember episode 1 with the pumpkin titties? And she's dramatic and shady, and we love a little shadiness. So shout out to Yovska, we love you. Bye.
Next up was Kendra Onyx.
I love me some Kendra. She called Yovska, she said, oh, bitch, your face looks like a toilet bowl. A toilet bowl and a moon and blah, 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 blah. And what else? And then they were just like, toilet bowl. They showed her. But yes, we love Miss Kendra Onyx. She inspired us to do reviews because she does her little review. Calls them BouViews. And what else? Her channel is House of Gorgeous. But yeah, so we love Miss Kendra Onyx. Shout out to you. I don't know why my necklace is backwards, but whatever. But yeah, shout out to Kendra Onyx. We love you, messy bitch.
So next up, we have, I think it was Miss Erica Clash.
Oh, that was Babylon, by the way. But yeah, my name is Brittany, bitch. But yeah, so I love Miss Erica Clash. She's the original, Dragula monster that always does exterminations, no matter how rough they are. I remember those needles she had to do, I think, during season 3, I think it was. But yeah, we love Miss Erica. It was like an anime queen, and it was always like video games, and, she was very creative, and, it was sad to see her go, but, she will always be a a Dragula legend.
Yes, he was.
Yes, Brittany, Miss Brittany. So who was next? Oh my god, is it Abhora?
Yeah, it's Abhora.
I like Abhora because she's right. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I like Abhora because she was basically the villain for a long bit, and I'm kind of the villain sometimes. That's why my hair's red. I look like Abhora, kind of. Not, she's a twink. When she's not in drag, she's a twink. A very pale twink, and I'm very pale as well. I'm a trailer park. Yeah. But but honestly, we really like that. At first, we didn't like Abhora, right? We really didn't like her.
No, we didn't, but then she changed.
She did, and that's what I love about her, and that's what makes me like her a lot more now.
Yeah.
Like, we really didn't like her, but now we tolerate her. Because, what's it called, she was able to acknowledge, that she's not perfect and her imperfections and work on it. That's as white people, that's all we ask. I'm not perfect either. I'm a work in progress, but you know what, Abhora, you're better than me. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But that's all we ask is for people to... all we ask is for people to acknowledge their imperfections and work on it. As long as you're working on it and as long as you're listening to what people tell you and, you're open to criticism and you're open to doing better and learning and growing, then we will give you that, what's it called? I don't give a fuck what people say. Belinda! No, Belinda! They get paid to themselves. No. Well, she needs to take care of her baby Becky. That's what she needs to do. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Look at the boss of me. As you can see, my name is Bonina. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the child. I go party every day. I do what I want. I don't care. People take care of Becky for me, bitch. But yeah, so I'm here to represent Miss Melissa Be Fierce, which we love her.
We loved her.
She had to do what she had to do because she didn't give a fuck. She didn't give a fuck about all these people's opinions and
She was
stuff.
upset.
She left because of them, not because of anything else. But she was going through a lot. You know what I mean?
I
But anyways,
husband
but we
left her.
love Melissa. She was a very glamorous, fierce queen and a monster, and she's just a legend. And to be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know. If there's any queen that I think they should bring back for another All-Stars, I think it's her. Because
her
I think
another
she
shot.
needs a redemption.
Yes.
She's the only queen that has left. Like, low-key quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we love Melissa Be Fierce. She was a legend before Dragula. She's a legend after. And we love her. She's a Latinx queen. Hey. Yeah, bye everyone.
But now we have Miss Astrid.
I'm the villain. I'm back. So as I was saying about the redemption and criticism, being open to criticism, Abhora was open to criticism. Astrid was not.
That's
Maybe
true.
a little bit towards the end. She was like, you know what? I don't deserve to be in the top. You know what I mean? The majority of the season, she was very delusional, right? She was just like, oh yeah, Victoria thinks I'm in her top 3, even though Victoria never said that.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So you know what? We know you have autism, but I'm telling you right now, if you learn anything from this video, just be open to criticism. Nobody's perfect. No one is perfect. None of us are perfect. So sometimes people, we know that sometimes people can be hateful, but other times people are just saying it so that you do better. You know what I mean? So do better, Astrid. But like we said before, we should be proud that you made it this far, and blah, blah, blah. Congratulations on being 5th place. Yay!
I'm perfect.
Yes, you are, Becky. We love you. And last but not least, we have Miss Eva Destruction.
I'm back, bitches. I'm a witch, bitch. Hey. Yeah, Eva Destruction is our favorite. We've loved her before Dragula, and now we love her even more. And we really hope to see her live one day. If there was any Dragula monster that we want to see, it's her. And even though I'm FancyAlly on Twitter, but she doesn't block Miss FancyAlly out of Twitter. So, yeah, there's that. We love Eva Destruction. We can't wait to see you live one day. Love you.
But yeah, so that's our girl. It's basically, so like I said, they showed their pictures, and they showed Astrid being 5th, and they showed Eva being 4th.
Yeah, so
and then they showed the grand winner. So we didn't even get to see Hoso's picture or Coco's picture, because they just had a, what's it called? Like
Big portrait.
No, yeah, but it was kind of like a memorial, or what's the other word?
Like a shrine.
A shrine, or there's another word. Memorial, or
It was a big picture of her.
Please like and subscribe to this video. So I will hit each and every one of you. Period.
It's our last video, guys. Come on, come through. Come through with the likes. Come
It's
through with the
Christmas.
comments. What happened to that one girl that was like, oh, we're going to watch your videos. Look in the camera. What's it called? What else? Don't touch your hair, bitch. I was touching my hair. Guess what? I wouldn't have been touching my hair if you actually liked and commented on our last video, but you didn't. So what was the point of listening to your constructive criticism? Anyway, so a shrine. That's what he said. Shrine. A memorial?
Memorial. It was a big picture.
I'm going to be so, I don't know what the word is. Memorial. Monument.
Another word for the shrine.
We give up. We're hungry. We're gonna go eat now. But yeah, so like our video, comment, subscribe, and follow me on TikTok, FancyAlly 2. Follow me on Twitter, FancyAlly 1. Maybe one day I'll make an Instagram. I took pictures today before drag, so we'll see. What's it called? What else? Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I guess Happy New Year's, because you know we don't know if we'll be.
Happy New Year.
But yes, what's it called? We love you guys so much.
We love you. No. Like and subscribe, or I will hit Yogo again.
No, don't hit Yogo. No, Yogo loves you so much.
We love each other.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. Go like and subscribe and share our videos. It doesn't matter when we post them. They're going to be here. Please just watch them anyways. We love you guys so much. And hopefully we'll see you guys again sometime soon. Like I said, go follow us on TikTok. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Like and subscribe. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We love you. Please like and subscribe to FancyAlly's channel. We work so hard. This is our passion. Bye.